All right, so our second video for chapter 2 is on angle properties of triangles. The important sort of rule, I guess, to know in terms of this section and even moving forward into future sections, of course, is this here in the red box. So all three angles in a triangle are equal to 180 degrees. It doesn't matter the type of triangle, and we can actually talk about some of these different types of triangles too. Just to review them, and we will. I could quickly mention them here in a minute. So all three angles in a triangle are equal to 180 degrees. So if we had a question like the one here I sketched below, so we've got a triangle here with two measures identified, and if the direction said to determine the measures of the unknown angles, so that would be this angle and this angle. So a lot of the questions will phrase it that way: determine the measure of the unknown angles. So you have to solve everything, or they might say indicated angle. So if the picture looked like this and it said solve for the indicated angle, then your angles, then you'd solve for both. Or sometimes they put a Greek symbol in too, just in case those are in this section. Like if they put in, say, like that, or maybe they throw in a, I don't know, theta or something. They might throw in stuff like that as well, just in case you see that. Okay, in any case, we're going to find these two missing angles. So we're going to combine the knowledge that we gained in the last section with this new knowledge, this new rule. So remember in the last section, a straight line is equal to 180 degrees. So that was the rule from last video. Straight line is equal to 180 degrees. So together, these two rules, these two statements will help us to solve this. So the new thing was the three angles in a triangle give us 180, and since we have two missing, we can't do anything with this one. We need to know this other triangle, this angle first. But we know this. We know this exterior angle is 155. So if we remember to last video, which I wrote here, straight line is 180 degrees. Since we know this side, we can find that one. So then we need to go 180, take away 155, right? Oops, already have take away. And that'll give us our answer for that angle, interior angle T. So angle MTA, right? That would be 25 degrees. So angle MTA is equal to 25 degrees. I'm just going to write that over there with the name and the angle. So we have the 25. I'll just put that on here in a different color. So we solve for that. Now since we have two angles in this triangle, we can solve for the third. All three angles in a triangle equal 180. So then if we go 180, take away 40, take away 25, that will give us this angle here. So 180, take away 40, oh, we need another take away 25 will give us this. Right, so if you solve that, go through that, it's actually 115. Right, so that means that angle MAT is equal to 115 degrees. Another thing to look at too, something to notice is that angle A here, MAT, is greater than 90, because remember 90 is like that, right? So it should be a number greater than 90. So think about reasonability when you're solving this. Like, does that make sense that that looks like 115 degrees? Does this make sense that it looks like 25 degrees? It does, right? So a good recap from the last video, and then practicing the new triangle rule, 180 degrees for all three angles of a triangle. So we're going to try one more example under this topic, a little bit more complex than that one. I'm going to use my full whiteboard. So I'm going to draw kind of a similar image somewhat to the last one. Maybe I'll try a different marker. It's not helping me out too well here. So I'm going to draw set of parallel lines. I'm going to close it in. I'm going to put a quadrilateral in the middle. So this is parallel. So I'm going to indicate that with parallel lines. I'm going to then draw a triangle in the center. And then I'm going to give you some angle measures. That's P, 67 degrees. What do I have here? What am I giving you? 67 degrees I'm giving you on the right, get marker out, 67 degrees right here, and 39 degrees right there. Oh, and this is a 20. So those are the three measures that we know. And then we're going to solve for, use my red marker to indicate the ones we're solving for. So we're going to solve for this one, and this one. And I think you end up having to solve the whole thing to get those. I'm just going to throw on some letters here. L, M, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Okay, so we're going to have to use a combination of the triangle rule and the straight line rule for having to be 180 degrees. So also the fact that these are parallel will also help us. So if we could think about corresponding angles, so we know three of them. So I can't do anything with this triangle because I don't know these other two. I can't do anything with this triangle. I don't know those two. So I'm going to try using this 67. So some things you can consider, well, that's 67. That's 67, right? This is 67, right? As you go around, that's 67. This whole thing here would be 67. So we could even start with that one, right? So we can go 67 take away 20. 67 take away 20 would give us 47. So this angle measure right here that we wanted would be 47 degrees. So we have that one. And then we can start building, we can actually solve this one since we have two angles in the triangle. Then we can go 180 degrees, take away 39, take away 47. That'll give us this measure, which is 94. So we've got two of them. Got that, and then what else do we have to find? This one. And actually we'll keep solving because I'm noticing we're just solving all this, but we'll figure out those ones too. So since these two are corresponding angles at 67, we need to find out what this is, or this, right? That whole angle measure, and then we could subtract 94 from that. In order to find that, remember, we would go 180 degrees, take away 67. 180 degrees, take away 67. Take away 67. That gives us 113. And then to find this little slice here, then we would go 113, take away 94 to find out this thing, because this whole thing is also 113 degrees. So if I go 113 degrees, take away 94, that'll give me this piece. So take away 94, that's going to give me 19 degrees, which is almost the same as that one. Not quite, right? If these were the same, then we could throw these angles in the same, but these triangles are a little bit different, these two. Okay, so let's keep going. I know that was the intent of the question, was to get those four, excuse me, those four missing angle measures, but let's solve these ones too. Because we easily can. So that's this one right here, right? So we can easily, what I would go next, and what you're probably thinking is this angle right here, right? Because we have two angles for this triangle, we can find the third one. So that would be 180 degrees. Take away 67, take away 19 to give us that angle right there. So 180 degrees, so that should give you 94 in this corner, 94 degrees. Right, so all three angles in this triangle should add up to 180 degrees. So that's that one. Okay. And then we'll actually solve these last two interiors, and I think we should be good with this question. So this here, remember, a straight line is equal to 180 degrees. I've got two angles there. I'm just missing one piece in order to find this angle. So I'd say 180, take away 94, take away 39. To find that top angle, that angle N would be NOP, angle NOP would be 47 degrees. Right, so that's this one. Right. And then the last one that we'll worry about is here, this angle OPN. So we have the two angles, we got the 47 and the 20. If we subtract that off 180, we'll get that third angle. So 180, take away 47, take away 20, will give us this answer, which is 113. And actually that's also here, your 113, and that's corresponding to this as well, right? So that would be 113 degrees. Okay. So that's a good example for using both of those rules, well, even the corresponding angle rule that we learned in the last video, the straight line is 180 degrees that we learned also in the last video, and then the new one would be all three angles in a triangle equal to 180 degrees. This plus this plus this gives us 180. Okay, so with that, I'm going to give you a couple to try. So this is in section 2.3, page 90. So I'm going to give you a little list here. I'm writing on a small whiteboard. So 2.3, page 90. So give these a try, 3, 9, 11, 13, and 14. They're a good, well-rounded summary of these styles of questions, and they do get more complicated as you go. But if you have any questions on those, please let me know.